Hey everyone, to cricket fans across the globe, welcome back to the Cricket Exchange. Phew, it would have only been day three of the much anticipated pink ball test at the just inaugurated Narendra Modi Stadium, aka the Motera for us older fans. But instead, here we are for a post match catch up in a highly animated, love hate, blink and you miss 5 day test cricket completely done and dusted in less than 2 days or 6 sessions. Boy, it's not unusual to see ecstasy and grumpiness as a single package for cricket fans, but with one of the shortest, seventh shortest to be precise, completed test matches in history of over 100 years of test cricket, here we are. Was it a pitch, a ditch? You take a call. Rohan, Abhishek, Salim, please share your thoughts.
Uh, Thanks, Madhu. Well, to start off with, let me say before I get rogered by everyone, congratulations to India. It was a fantastic performance. No doubts about that. Whatever the pitch. So well done. In skills, we were anyways a good team, and we were supposed to win, and we won it. There's nothing taking nothing away from the India's win. All said and done, the pitch was an absolute rubbish. Okay, so right from the first day, when you saw the color, when you saw those crater type stuff just at the popping crease, I knew that there was something wrong in it. Okay, so the puffs of dust flying, it was as if, I mean, what was that? I mean, on the first day, right up to the second day, there was puffs of dust flying, and you could see that something is wrong. I mean, the bowlers were slipping in their run up during their follow through, and the sight of match referee, our own Javagal Srinath, just at the beginning of day two, uh, standing just at the popping crease and trying to just settle all the dust, so as to say, uh, gave a sign as what is going to happen. Okay, so personally, I will repeat what I've already said many times before. I absolutely detest such these sort of pitches. I think this topic of this contention, this line of thought that this is home advantage, I don't agree with that at all, because India is a very good team, and India doesn't need this sort of a pitches to win the match. They can win a match on any kind of true conditions. And this was and for a day night match, especially with the pink ball and what we have seen before, this was totally unexpected, and it was very unfair that with such a wonderful stadium and with such a wonderful stadium, and we were deprived of seeing quality cricket. Joe Root, someone like Joe Root, a part-time spinner taking 5 wickets, I don't have anything else to say other than that. It reminds us of Michael Clark taking 6 for 9 in the 2004 test match, and we know how much that pitch was criticized. This was absolutely no different. And so the same criticism was there for the previous test, but that was somewhat salvaged by Ashwin's century, where we had the justification to say that yes, the pitch wasn't that bad. But sorry, guys, for this test, 145 all out, even
Hold
we were
on, hold
taking five
on,
wickets.
hold on.
That's not.
We heard you. Rohan, what do you have to say? Do you
So
think it's not about the pitch or the skills, Rohan?
It was definitely down to the skills. Okay. So, granted that the pitch was not the best pitch that we have ever seen in India or anywhere in the world of Test cricket, right? But even if you would have given any other pitch, the result would have been the same. Another thing is that the pitch was the same for both the teams. Another thing is that England won the toss. They had the choice to decide what to do, right? So therefore, they can't even now go back and claim that this pitch was a lottery. It was not. Even if it was, they had won the lottery. They still lost. I think they lost the match because they did everything wrong, starting from the wrong team being selected. They did not have enough spinners, right? With the wrong fields being set. I saw England give away so many, crucial boundaries, which in the end made or could have made a lot of difference in such a low scoring match, especially. Right? And last but not the least, why did Joe Root have to bowl in the fourth innings at all? I can imagine him wanting to start and to see whether it makes any difference or not, whether he can still continue his magic. But that was a ridiculous thing to do as a captain when he actually had Jimmy Anderson sitting, not really bowling. So that was all horrible. I think this whole debate about pitch is all overblown. The pitch wasn't great, granted, but I don't think that has affected the result as such at all.
So I sort of am on the fence, literally across both your views. One, I think it was about the skills, because if you see, I think even Mohammad Azharuddin in a very well compiled set of tweets, he said that it was all about how the batsmen are not getting to the pitch of the ball, or choosing to sweep for the wrong balls, or not being able to read through the straighter ones. Right, I think 21 out of the 30 dismissals were to deliveries which didn't spin. So one is there certainly about the technique. Second, I think it's also about match awareness. See, England, if you recollect, was 72 for 2 at one stage, right? And they had won the toss. From then on, if they had gone on to make, let's say, 250, this would have been a completely different ball game, even on the same pitch. They were not match smart enough, and they went on from 72 for 2 to almost like 100 odd, just gone, blown away, right? Same thing happened when we were batting. We were like 98 for 2, and then Virat got out 98 for 3. Next day we come back, boom, boom, boom. We lose, we just get blown away by 140. And to be fair, Virat did call this out, that both teams didn't do a good job of their, their first innings. So it kind of leveled out. Second innings, of course, like England really just went off. I mean, they were just completely blown away.
So I had no qualms about the pitch like Salim, but my only, I would say, the only grudge I have was this was like a compressed file that we so frequently use on our desktops. A 5-day test squeezed into 2 days, less than 2 days. I mean, that was really a pity. From a pitch point of view, of course, we saw a lot of analysis after that. Talking about the pink ball, the seam, the lacquer on the ball, etc. But yes, it was dusty, all right. But I think it was purely about skills.
See, the pink ball, right? I mean, what I've noticed is, I think there are 3 or 4 matches which have kind of finished off in 3 days or something like that. And almost 4 matches are where there have been collapses, right? Including the one against the famous 36 all out, the one against Bangladesh, even the one against a lot of other matches as well. So maybe it's still teams are coming to terms with the pink ball in our place.
And I would like to say one point here. Salim mentioned, you mentioned regarding then Azhar's tweet. That was really nice. Nice set of tweets. I think he also mentioned about why the batsmen should be wearing rubber-soled shoes instead of spikes, because that will help in their feet movement. Okay, so that's something which the feet movement to spinners, that's something which even Sunny Gavaskar also pointed out. And who would be knowing it better than him? He's known for that 96, his farewell innings. So, but one thing I would like to point out here is that there is too many times you're saying that, you pointed it out, Salim, and many others are pointing it out, that 21 wickets fell to straight deliveries. But what is the key here is that straight delivery is the biggest weapon on a turning track. That's because all the other balls are turning. That is why people are not playing. People are playing for that turn, and that is why they are being beaten by that straight delivery. And Akshar was fantastic with it. There's no doubt about it. Okay, he was that what Monty Panesar did in 2012, what Jadeja has been doing frequently, and what more orthodox spinners like Pragyan Ojha and Shahbaz Nadeem has not been able to do. Okay, so that flying in darts and that lacquer, what do you call, which travels faster and which skids, that is total gold to someone like Akshar Patel.
Yeah, Akshar, I think what's also standing out for him, of course, is just a second match, but having great match awareness. But he has a very unique combination. Right? He's just a little taller than the usual left armer. His angle also, he comes in with a little bit of a that swervy action, and he's very strong on from a seam perspective. He presents the seam quite well, and just with a little bit of variation, right? It either becomes an arm ball or it cuts away. So that's credit to Akshar, and I think the lacquer has helped him a lot, right? He admitted that as well in the post-match comments.
He made
Rohan, your man, Goju guy, what do you have to say?
Yeah, well, I would just say that this is one Guju guy replacing another Guju guy, right? If Jadeja was here, I think he would have also got so many wickets.
Definitely.
Maybe India would have also scored more runs with him being around, but unfortunately he isn't around. Although I think comparing Akshar Patel to Monty Panesar is completely wrong and completely unfair on both of them. They are both completely different kinds of bowlers.
only on the pace, Rohan, nothing else. Only on that pace, that fast, quick pace. That
What about,
flatter
guys, take a
trajectory.
step back, it's our favorite bashing topic, Kohli and his selection. So what do you guys feel? I mean, do you think the selections were okay going in Washington as the fifth bowler? We know that in such games, the fifth guy is almost like underutilized and sometimes not even bowled, like in this case. So you think we got the team composition right?
Here, I would say even the seamers were irrelevant. So maybe we were 3 people extra in the team. We could have fielded an 8 members and 3 local fielders. Maybe we could have done that. Then we would have still won the test.
There was a funny meme, of all the fast bowlers from both the teams: Anderson, Archer, Broad. Our 2 seamers sitting outside the pitch and playing cards. Like some
they could have.
So maybe for the. Yeah, so maybe for the next match, we should just have Ashwin and Akshar, and maybe one more backup spinner in, maybe again Washington Sundar, or if the pitch is slightly better, then maybe Kuldeep Yadav. It is clearly a case for us being able to then play 2 extra batsmen.
Yeah,
I mean, we may want to joke about it.
To completely mock the whole situation, I can say that let's play with 8 batsmen and 3 spinners.
No. So I mean, we may want to joke about it all that we want, right? But I think the Indian team may be seriously considering only playing 4 bowlers in the next match.
Possible. Hey, Madhu, you're big on fairness and all of that stuff, right? So again, do you think it's fair and okay for a home team to make, I mean, even if I can use the word, to make things conducive or favorable to the conditions generally as a principle, Madhu?
This is an accepted norm across the globe, right? West Indies, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, Australia, New Zealand, they all have pitches favorable to the home team. But then, like I said, my only grudge is for a test to get over, for an international level test match to get over in 2 days, it's really frustrating for cricket fans. I mean, of course, like I said, we're ecstatic because India won and are now just a step away from the finals at Lord to face New Zealand. But then, home advantage or not, a 2-day test is really frustrating. Home advantage, yeah, to some extent is absolutely fine. It's an accepted norm.
Well, other than the fact that we now do not have enough cricket, right? The match only finished in 2 days. Other than that, I'm fully fine with it. And I'm actually now thinking that the fact that India won the match with 10 wickets without losing any wickets, right? That sort of also throws the whole pitch being the reason why the match should have finished in 2 days out of the window. Similar to what Ashwin had done at Chepauk. He had scored 100 in the 3rd innings, which basically meant that the pitch isn't that bad. It is down to the skill level.
Really, see, the 4th innings with 48 to chase, there was no pressure. That cannot be. You cannot hold that argument as a conclusive argument for defending the pitch. So,
I can.
My point of contention is 2 things. Okay. One is you've got arguably 2 of the world's all-time great seamers in the team, and not only Anderson and Broad, even India has got 2 fantastic seam bowlers. Okay, you can't have. It's a match where those 4 guys are playing cards outside. Okay, you have got memes like that, and you've Joe Root bowling and taking 5 wickets. This has to be something wrong. Come on.
But that was actually see the fact that Joe Root got those 5 wickets. Okay, 3 of those wickets were really purchased by him, right, off of spinning deliveries because the pitch was helping it spin, and he was not trying anything too hard. All those 3 wickets were of left-handers. The 2 right-handers wickets were right-handers slogging across the line. So I think even if instead of Root it was Rohit Sharma, he might have got those 2 right-handers wickets, but he may have struggled to get those left-handers wickets. So there we have to give credit to Joe Root only for that innings, but I think he overdid it in the last innings. He should not have been bowling.
No, but Rohan, with the 49 target, I don't think, they'd already given up. So maybe it was not as decisive. But what about Rohit Sharma? We spoke about pitch and possibly in a lot of years, we haven't seen spinners as threatening as they were at the Motera, last 2 days. So Rohit, he plays about 20 odd overs and has scored 110 odd runs. That's phenomenal. In the larger scheme of things, it doesn't appear, but talking about the pitch and talking about all the batsmen being foxed by spinners, here was Rohit Sharma, being criticized for not being great test opener, and what a job he did.
Rohit
I
Rohit to me is counter Pujara. Like he's exactly opposite in every way to Pujara's approach, which is in itself legendary, right? So I think that we were lucky and blessed to have two of those kinds so close to each other in terms of the batting position and their approach.
Absolutely.
Maybe Rohan will. I mean, I've been seeing a lot of analysis on various YouTube channels. I mean, they're all praising that Rohit has got that unique. He's got that talent and he's got the skill to play the ball as late as possible, and that is helping him in such conditions, which
Well,
the others are getting foxed. But he has got that extra millisecond to adjust himself and play the on the up or play the drives using his feet. So maybe Rohan can add to that.
Most batsmen that you would classify as being great have that trait. Great trait, that also rhymes. I think compared to all of us fans, and also taking the Indian playing 11 into account, out of all of us, the luckiest one to have Rohit Sharma there is Shubman Gill. Imagine how much he is going to be there picking up stuff from Rohit Sharma, not necessarily only technical stuff, but also about how to approach things, just watching him from the other end, because Shubman Gill is clearly the future of Indian cricket, isn't he?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, talking about Shubman Gill, I don't know if you guys noticed, this is going off track, but good old Prithvi Shaw, the one who's been trolled by many people, sometimes even by us, the guy's been playing really good. Huh? I mean, in the Vijay Hazare Trophy, I think he scored 200 plus, really doing a good job. So, again, guys, back to the same thing. We can have two Indian teams literally. We've got such a good pool of 20 to 25 people.
Don't forget Ishan Kishan. He's waiting.
Oh, yeah. Suryakant Yadav.
What about Mr. 400, Ashwin? A lot of talk about his 400, and then Yuvraj puts his tweet, and it just got a little bit of.
I mean, it's his 400. I mean, as I said, I mean, not taking any credit away from the Indian players. I mean, Ashwin would have got his 400 even if he played on a very normal pitch where the opposition scored maybe 300, 400. He would have still picked up his 400th wicket. So he's absolute legend. And
see, that's the thing, right?
As well. So
see, that's the thing, right? What I have noticed is that when the pitch is crap, okay, your best bowlers don't really usually get all the wickets, right? So which was also sort of shown by Joe Root picking up those wickets. Luckily, the whole left-hander thing also happened. But I think on that pitch, the fast bowlers also would have been really effective.
And nippy, because the cutters that are bowled, I think that can be really very effective. Probably Jofra Archer could have done a bit more.
We at the Cricket Exchange, we spent so much time and energy into discussing cartwheels. Rohan got up, turned the camera, explained cartwheels in the first test. Poor Jimmy, he's been completely forgotten. I think moving forward,
poor guy, he got Kohli out, and that guy dropped his catch. So what can you do?
No, coming back to Ashwin, I just love the dismissal of Oli Pope. I think he got him out in both the innings. I mean, the second innings.
That's right. Yeah.
Fabulous ball. Next test, I would say, if I don't think India will go back to being super sportive and create a pitch which is sort of seaming or whatever. Most likely they'll continue in the same mold, and I don't think I'm seeing any changes from India. I think England should and must get Dom Bess back. Besides that, I don't see any other changes for the next one.
One thing you never know now India just needs a draw to qualify for the Test Championship final, because I think all this Turner obsession, all these things, one of the things why this happened is, one, England beat us in the first test. That was a reaction. That there was a reactive step to get Turners in as a sort of a panicky reaction. And of course, and one eye on the World Championship finals, because we needed to win 2 test matches. And so you never know. There's been a lot of criticism of the pitch. So might be the Motera groundsmen, they'll play a bit safe now that we can afford a draw. So we might see somewhat better stuff in the next test match. That's what I can say. And no lacquer this time, so it's going to be normal red balls. So that probably will help.
Well, I would fully expect India to only go in with 4 bowlers. I don't think we need 5 bowlers at all, which also means that we can strengthen our batting. Maybe bring in, I don't know, Mayank or Hardik, whoever needs to come in can easily come in.
No, so I think they have a winning combination, so they might want to replace Sundar with maybe Hardik or Mayank. But otherwise, I'm more worried about, the finals now at Lords. Remember, Abhishek, Salim, we met up in 2003 World Cup for the finals, and how we got walloped. So I don't know. While we have a crescendo already in terms of peaking, I don't know if we've peaked too early. Suddenly, alien conditions, a new ball, Kiwis swinging the shit out of the ball. I don't know. I mean, I have this dreaded feeling about Lords already. But hopefully, we cross the next test, of course.
Too far away.
I'm thinking of making a fun video about all these crazy superstitions 4 of us have gone through, especially me. Let me not put it on you. And in that episode, I will talk about that infamous 2003 Hyderabad gathering of us. That's for another day. To wrap this up, do you think we should end on a musical note? Maybe Rohan, you want to tell us a little bit about what you've been doing outside of the Cricket Exchange?
Well, I've just made a song, haven't I? So actually, instead of talking about that, let's actually sing a cricket-based song. And Abhishek, you also know the song, and I know that you all love the song, right? Which is Googly yahan to bumper wahan, गेंद की अजब चालबाजियां, बेहतरीन कैच, कितना है मैच,
फील्डर की देखो कलाबाजियां.
I have no clue about this song.
Forget it. I think Rohan, we expected you to launch your original music, so that's why that was what Salim was referring to. Maybe a line of that you can sing.
Yeah, okay. So here it goes. कभी न कभी आओगी, हमें मिल जाओगी, मेरी इस नई स्टाइल से तुम पूरी हिल जाओगी, बन जा तू मेरी रानी तो मजा आ जाए, तेरी मेरी कोई हो कहानी जो सबको सुनाए. There you go.
Awesome. I love the video. It had such a refreshing
appealing to everyone.
Absolutely.
So all of you, please,
video.
Apart from Cricket Exchange, please go to Rohan Aswani Music and subscribe to the channel and enjoy the music there as well.
Please also pray that the last match goes beyond 3 days, because come on guys, we wait for years for this. At least guys finish it in 2 days. So good luck to everyone, and keep watching our channel. Subscribe to us. We'll be back soon with another video. Take care. Bye.
Okay, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.